The American Civil War officially ended in 1865. The cannons went silent. The armies went home. But the ideas that caused the war did not die. They did not surrender. They only changed their shape. America did not just fight over slavery. It fought over power. It fought over control. Who would decide the nation's future? The federal government or the individual states? This question was never fully answered. It was only delayed, and delay created division. After the war, the South was defeated. Its cities were destroyed. Its economy was broken. But defeat did not erase its beliefs. Former Confederate leaders survived, and they returned to power. They no longer wore uniforms. They wore suits. They carried law books instead of rifles. They accepted the Union's victory, but not the Union's values, and not racial equality. They began reshaping the system from inside, using laws instead of violence, using rules instead of bullets. They called their strategy states' rights, but in practice, it meant control. Control over voting, control over labor, control over Black Americans, control over the future. Reconstruction was meant to heal the nation, to rebuild democracy, to bring justice. For the first time, Black men voted. They held office. They shaped laws. This terrified Southern elites because power was changing hands and history was changing direction. So they created barriers, poll taxes, literacy tests. They used violence. They used fear. They used intimidation. Voting became dangerous. Democracy became selective. Freedom became conditional. The Civil War promised equality. Politics postponed it, and postponed it again. Economic power followed old battle lines. The North industrialized rapidly. Factories filled cities. Railroads spread. Banks grew rich. Technology advanced. The South remained agricultural, dependent on cheap labor, trapped in poverty. Two economies formed. Two political cultures formed. Two Americas emerged. Urban versus rural. Federal power versus local control. Progress versus tradition. These arguments sound modern, but they are ancient. They are Civil War arguments reborn. The war's symbols never vanished. Statues remained. Flags remained. To some, they meant heritage. To others, they meant oppression and pain. These symbols became political tools, used to mobilize voters, used to divide citizens. The battle was not about stone. It was about memory. It was about identity. Who controls the story controls the nation. Who controls the past controls the future. And politics feeds on both. In the 20th century, America fought new wars. World War I, World War II. The Cold War followed. The nuclear age arrived. Technology reshaped life. But inside America, the Civil War remained quiet, unfinished. The civil rights movement reopened the conflict. Segregation was challenged. Federal law demanded equality. States resisted federal authority. Courts became battlefields. Politics became war by other means. Power versus freedom. Unity versus identity. Order versus justice. Modern elections still follow old lines. Northern states vote differently than southern states. Cities vote differently than rural areas. Debates over race continue. Debates over government power continue. Debates over history continue. The same fears remain. The same arguments return. Only the language changes. Slavery ended, but inequality survived, and politics inherited it. The Confederacy collapsed, but its ideology did not. It evolved. The battlefield moved from fields to Congress, from rifles to rules, from cannons to courtrooms. Votes replaced bullets. Laws replaced swords. Power replaced armies. The Civil War became political culture. It shaped parties. It shaped elections. It shaped fear. It shaped loyalty. It shaped identity. America never escaped the war. It absorbed it. It institutionalized it. The war that once used cannons now uses votes and laws. It no longer kills with bullets. It kills trust. It kills unity. It kills compromise. That is why politics feels like combat, because in many ways it is. A war without uniforms. A war without gunfire. A war without surrender. A war without end. And that is why the Civil War still controls American politics, because it never truly ended.